If you clicked on this video, then you are trying to understand the story of one of the most beloved and iconic anime characters ever created. The story of Sailor Moon transcends time and space and life and death. You're in the right place because we are going back to the beginning, back to where the story started, in the past. Part 1, The Silver Millennium and the First Falling. Before we begin, let your shoulders soften, let your jaw unclench, let your hands rest. If your eyes are open, they can close whenever they want to. If they're already closed, then you don't have to do anything at all. Tonight's story is old, older than memory, older than names. It is the kind of story the universe tells itself when it wants to feel less alone. A story about the moon and the earth, and the quiet thread of destiny that connects them. There is nothing to solve here, nothing to figure out, no twist that you must stay awake to catch, just a calm, drifting tale meant to carry you gently towards sleep. And so, we begin. The moon before it was silent. Look up at the moon tonight, not with your eyes, but with your imagination. Picture it as it once was, not a pale, distant stone, but a place of soft light, a kingdom, a world that felt like moonlight feels, cool and clean, gentle and endless, quiet in a way that calms the mind. In that age, the moon was home to the Silver Millennium. It was not a kingdom of loud celebrations or towering monuments meant to impress. It was a kingdom of peace. Its buildings were graceful, built with smooth, pale stone, curving arches, and shining halls that reflected starlight like water reflects the sky. The air itself seemed calm there. Even footsteps sounded softer, as if the moon did not want to disturb its own stillness. And above all, there was a sense of time moving differently. Not rushed, not chasing. Time on the moon did not feel like it was running out. It felt like it was waiting. At the heart of the Silver Millennium ruled a queen. Her name was Serenity. Queen Serenity was not feared. She was not worshipped as a tyrant. She was not a ruler who demanded obedience through force. She was a guardian, a presence, a steady, ancient kind of calm. Her eyes carried the weight of 1,000 quiet decisions. Not decisions made for power, but decisions made for balance. She was said to walk the palace gardens in the softest hours of the moon's night, listening to the wind pass over silver leaves. She listened to the kingdom the way a person listens to the ocean at night, not searching for meaning, just letting it be. And within Queen Serenity's care rested the greatest treasure of the Moon Kingdom, a sacred crystal. A crystal that was not simply a jewel, it was a force, a promise, a living light. It was called the Silver Crystal. The Silver Crystal. The Silver Crystal was not a weapon, at least not by nature. It did not crave battle. It did not hunger for destruction. The Silver Crystal was more like a heart of pure light. It was said that it resonated with the emotions of its guardian. If held by someone selfish, it could become dangerous. If held by someone cruel, it could become catastrophic. But under Queen Serenity, it remained what it was meant to be, a protector, a source of healing, a beacon of order. It kept the Moon Kingdom safe from chaos. It preserved the balance between worlds. And it allowed the Silver Millennium to exist in peace for longer than most civilizations ever get to dream. The Earth below, far below the Moon Kingdom, there was another world, the Earth. In those days, Earth was younger. Its people lived shorter lives. They were not immortal, not long-lived, not sheltered by a crystal of cosmic purity. They were shaped by seasons, by storms, by hunger, by loss. They loved fiercely because they had less time. They fought because fear was easier than understanding. They built kingdoms and watched them fall They made promises and broke them, and still, they kept living. Still, they kept trying. The Moon Kingdom watched Earth the way an elder watches a child, with care, with concern, with distance. The moon did not interfere. It observed. It protected the balance. It stayed apart. But there was one soul on the moon who could not stop looking down. Princess Serenity. Queen Serenity had a daughter, a princess. Her name was also Serenity. But where the queen carried calm like a crown, the princess carried curiosity like a flame. Princess Serenity was bright in spirit, gentle in nature, and deeply emotional. She was known to laugh loudly in halls where others spoke softly. She cried easily, not from weakness, but from openness. She felt everything. The Moon Kingdom loved her because she made them remember what it felt like to be young, to wonder, to dream. Princess Serenity often wandered to the palace balconies at night, and there, she looked down at Earth, not with judgment, with fascination. Earth was chaotic, Earth was loud, Earth was imperfect, and yet it was alive in a way the moon had forgotten how to be. On Earth, everything mattered because everything could end. That idea, that fragile urgency, pulled at her heart, and slowly, without anyone noticing at first, she began to fall in love with the world below. The guardians of the princess. The princess was not alone. She was protected by guardians, warriors of the Sailor Senshi. They were loyal, brilliant, strong, each one tied to a planet, each one shaped by a different kind of strength. There was Sailor Mercury, calm and wise, with a mind like clear water. There was Sailor Mars, fierce and intuitive, whose fire was not reckless but sacred. There was Sailor Jupiter, strong and protective, with the warmth of a storm that nourishes as much as it strikes. There was Sailor Venus, radiant and brave, the kind of leader who could smile even while standing in danger. They were more than guards, they were sisters in spirit. They were the ones who stood close when the princess felt too much. They were the ones who held the line between innocence and the universe. And still, even they could not guard her from what she was becoming. A princess who looked down at Earth and wanted more than peace. She wanted connection. The first meeting. No one remembers exactly how Princess Serenity met him. Some say it was fate. Some say it was the moon's curiosity reaching too far. But the story goes like this. On a night when the palace slept, Princess Serenity slipped away. She travelled to a place where the moon's light fell strongest upon the earth, a place where the boundary between worlds felt thin. And on Earth, there was a young man, a prince. His name was Endymion. Endymion was not like the warriors who screamed for war. He was not hungry for conquest. He was thoughtful. He carried the weight of responsibility like a quiet shadow. He had seen conflict. He had seen the fear that ruled people when they believed they were powerless, and yet he still believed that peace was possible. When he looked up at the moon, he did not see an enemy. He saw a mystery, a distant promise. And when Princess Serenity appeared before him, he did not draw a weapon. He stood still, as if the universe itself had asked him to be gentle. They spoke, not of politics, not of war, but of small things, the feeling of wind, the softness of moonlight, the way the world changes when you're brave enough to care about someone. They met again and again. Each time their bond grew quieter and deeper, like a river carving stone without force, just persistence. Love that was not allowed. Their love was forbidden, not because it was wrong, but because it was dangerous. The Moon Kingdom feared Earth's instability. Earth's leaders feared the moon's power. And somewhere between fear and pride, both worlds decided that love could not be trusted. Princess Serenity was warned. She was told Earth would only bring sorrow, that humans were too fragile, too violent, too temporary. Endymion was warned too. He was told the Moon Kingdom would never accept him, that their peace was built on distance and superiority, but love does not obey warnings. It does not listen to rules. Love moves the way light moves, quietly, naturally, inevitably. Princess Serenity began to imagine a future that had never existed before. A future where moon and earth stood together, not above, not below, but side by side. And Endymion imagined it too, not because it was realistic, but because it was beautiful. And sometimes, beauty is enough to make people risk everything. The shadows beyond. But while they dreamed, something else was waking. Beyond the familiar planets, beyond the comforting map of the sky, there was a darkness, a presence, not a person, not a kingdom, a force, a hunger. It was called Queen Metalia. Metalia was chaos. Metalia was despair. Metalia was the feeling of giving up made into something vast. It did not want peace. It did not want balance. It wanted corruption. It wanted collapse. And it whispered to Earth, not in words, but in feelings, jealousy, fear, anger. It pressed those emotions into human hearts until they felt like truth. Humans began to look up at the moon and feel resentment. They began to believe the Moon Kingdom was hoarding immortality, hoarding beauty, hoarding peace, and resentment became a spark, and sparks, in dry places, become fires. The war that should never have happened. War did not arrive all at once. It arrived like a storm. First a shift in the air, then a distant rumble, then sudden lightning. Earth's forces gathered. Corrupted by Metalia's influence, they marched with hatred they barely understood. They believed they were fighting oppression. They believed they were reclaiming destiny. But they were being used. The Moon Kingdom tried to remain calm. Queen Serenity tried to preserve balance. But chaos does not negotiate. It only spreads. The Moon's Guardians prepared for defense, not for conquest, not for. Part 2. The Fall of the Moon Kingdom and the Promise of Rebirth. War did not arrive all at once. It arrived like a storm. First, a change in the air, a feeling that something was wrong, even when everything still looked peaceful. Then, a distant pressure, like thunder you can't yet hear. And then, it arrived. Earth's armies, touched by the darkness of Queen Metalia, turned their eyes toward the moon. Not with wonder, but with envy. Not with curiosity, but with hunger. They believed the Moon Kingdom had stolen something from them. They believed the moon was a symbol of unfairness, a bright, untouchable place, looking down on the world below. And so they marched. The first cracks in peace. The Moon Kingdom was not built for war. Its halls were designed for music, for quiet conversation, for learning and healing. Its gardens were designed for calm. Even its towers were graceful, not sharp. But peace does not protect itself. Peace requires guardians. And so the Sailor Guardians stood ready. They did not hate the people of Earth. They did not want revenge. They wanted only to stop the spreading darkness before it reached the heart of the moon. They watched the sky, and they waited, not for the joy of battle, but because it was their duty. Princess Serenity's heart. Princess Serenity felt the shift before anyone told her. She felt it in the way the air changed, in the way silence became tense, in the way even the palace lights seemed dimmer. She ran to the balcony and looked down at Earth. She searched for Endymion. She searched for a sign that this could still be stopped. But what she saw was movement, gathering, unrest, and a shadow beneath it. She knew then that love alone was not enough to stop fear. She wanted to go to him, stand beside him, to speak to him. But the Guardians blocked her path, not out of cruelty, out of protection, and the princess, for the first time, felt what it meant to be royalty, not power, but separation. Endymion's choice. On Earth, Endymion saw it too. He saw the anger rising like smoke. He saw the way people who had once trusted him now looked through him. He tried to speak. He tried to calm them. He tried to remind them that the moon was not an enemy. But Metalia's influence had already taken root. And when darkness takes root, it makes kindness look like weakness. Endymion stood between his people and the moon. He did not lift a sword to attack. He lifted himself to protect. And that is the quiet tragedy of good leaders. Sometimes they cannot stop the wave. They can only stand in front of it. The Moon Kingdom under siege. The first attack was sudden. A violent tearing of the calm sky. A flash of hostile light. A strike that cracked the moon's serenity like glass. The palace trembled. The garden shook. And the Silver Millennium, that peaceful, glowing age, was forced to face what it had avoided for too long. The Sailor Guardians moved as one. Mercury, cool and calculating, formed barriers and strategies in seconds. Mars, burning with sacred fire, drove back darkness with fierce clarity. Jupiter, strong as thunder, shielded the vulnerable and held the line. Venus, bright and unwavering, guided the others like a star. And still, the enemy came, not only from Earth's soldiers, but from the corruption behind them. The dark energy of Metalia moved like a sickness, touching minds, twisting hearts, turning fear into violence. The Silver Crystal's warning. Deep in the palace, Queen Serenity stood before the Silver Crystal. The crystal pulsed, not angrily, not violently, but urgently, as if it were breathing, as if it could feel the imbalance spreading across the moon. The Queen placed her hand near it and felt its power. She did not want to use it, because the silver crystal was not meant to destroy, it was meant to preserve. But preservation sometimes requires sacrifice. And Queen Serenity understood that. She understood what was coming, and she understood that no one else should carry that burden, so she carried it alone. The princess breaks free. Princess Serenity could not stay hidden. She could not stay protected behind walls while her love, her people, her world fell apart. She broke away. She ran through the palace halls. Her long hair flowed behind her like a banner of moonlight. She reached the battlefield just as the chaos reached its peak, and there, amid shattered stone and scattered light, she saw him, Endymion. He had come, not as an invader, not as a conqueror, but as a man who loved her. He stood in the storm of conflict and looked at her as if she were the only calm thing left. And for a moment, the universe held its breath. A love surrounded by war. Princess Serenity reached for him. Endymion reached back, and in that brief moment their hands touched. A simple thing, a human thing, not royal, not cosmic, just two souls refusing to let go. But war does not pause for love. The darkness surged, a strike, too fast, too cruel, cut through the air. Endymion was hit. He fell. Their world seemed to slow. Princess Serenity caught him, but she could not hold time. She could not hold fate. Endymion's eyes met hers. There was no anger in them, only sadness, only love, only the quiet acceptance of someone who knew he had done everything he could. And then he was gone. The princess's grief. Princess Serenity screamed, not a battle cry, not a call to arms, a sound of pure grief ripping through the moon's quiet air. She held Endymion's body as if holding him tightly enough could bring him back. But the universe does not bargain. The Guardians rushed toward her. They tried to pull her away. They tried to protect her. But grief is stronger than protection. Grief makes you reckless. Grief makes you brave. Grief makes you forget that you're not meant to carry the weight of everything. Princess Serenity looked at the ruined palace, at her fallen guardians, at the chaos tearing apart the Silver Millennium, and she understood something terrible. This world was ending, and she could not stop it. The princess's final choice. Princess Serenity stood. She lifted her face toward the sky. The moonlight touched her cheeks like gentle hands. She didn't want to die, but she didn't want to live in a world where love had been stolen. She did not want a future built on ashes, and so, in her grief, in her heartbreak, Princess Serenity ended her own life, not as punishment, not as surrender, but as the final act of a soul that could not bear to continue without the one it loved. The Moon Kingdom shuddered. Even the stars seemed quieter, and Queen Serenity, far within the palace, felt it. Felt her daughter's light vanish, felt the universe shift as if a candle had gone out in the centre of all things. Queen Serenity's last stand. Queen Serenity did not collapse. She did not scream. She didn't run. She became still, the kind of stillness that comes when a heart breaks but duty remains. She walked to the silver crystal. The palace around her was crumbling. The air trembled with chaos, but she walked as if she were moving through a peaceful garden. She stood before the crystal and closed her eyes. And for a moment she remembered her daughter as a child, laughing, running, crying over small things, falling asleep in warm moonlight. Queen Serenity breathed in slowly, and then she spoke, not to her enemies, but to the universe, a quiet command, a gentle, unstoppable promise. The silver crystal awakens. The silver crystal answered. Its light expanded, not sharp, not harsh, but pure. Like dawn spilling across a sleeping world, the darkness of Metalia recoiled. The corrupted energy hissed and shrank. The Earth soldiers, those who remained, fell back confused, terrified, suddenly aware that they had been driven by something that was not truly theirs. Queen Serenity's power did not punish them. It purified the chaos. It pushed it away. It erased the corruption as tide erases footprints in sand. And for a moment the Moon Kingdom was quiet again. But the Queen knew. This peace was temporary. The Silver Millennium had fallen. Too much had been destroyed. Too much had been lost. There was no returning to what it was, only moving forward. The Queen's final gift. Queen Serenity held the silver crystal close. She felt its energy burning through her, not painfully, but completely, as if it were turning her into light. She knew she would not survive this, but she also knew something else. The story did not have to end here. So she gathered the souls of the fallen, her daughter, Endymion, the sailor guardians. She wrapped them gently in the silver crystal's light like blankets around sleeping children, and she sent them forward in time, into a future Earth, a new chance, a rebirth, a continuation, not as royals, not as legends, but as ordinary lives, waiting to awaken. The moon falls silent. When the light faded, the Moon Kingdom was gone. Its halls were empty, its gardens still, its towers silent. The Silver Millennium became a memory sealed into moonstone and dust. The moon remained in the sky, but its kingdom was no longer there in the way it once was. It became a quiet witness, a reminder, a sleeping relic. And far below, Earth continued turning. Seasons passed, centuries drifted by. People were born, people died, civilizations rose and fell, and somewhere within the flow of time, souls carried forward by the last wish of a queen waited to return. The dream of rebirth. In the darkness between one life and the next, Princess Serenity's soul drifted, not alone, surrounded by the gentle presence of her guardians and by Endymion. They did not speak. They did not need to. They simply moved together like constellations moving across the sky, waiting for the moment they would open their eyes again, waiting for the world that would need them, waiting for the quiet miracle of being alive one more time. And in that drifting space, a promise was made, not spoken aloud, but written into destiny, that love would return, that courage would return, that the moon's light would find its way back into the human world. The story begins again, not on the moon, but on Earth, in a world of school bells and crowded streets, in a world where no one remembers the Silver Millennium, except for the universe itself, a world where a girl will be born, clumsy, kind, late to everything, and carrying a soul older than the moon, a girl named Usagi. But that is for the next part. For now, you can breathe, slowly, softly. The moon is still there above you, and the story is still moving, quietly, gently, like a lullaby written in starlight. Part 3. Usagi awakens and the Guardians return. Centuries passed, not loudly, not dramatically, just the slow turning of the earth beneath the moon. Time moved like water. Cities rose, languages changed, names disappeared into history, and yet the moon remained, always there, silent, watching, as if it were waiting for a promise to come due. A normal morning. In modern Japan, in a neighbourhood filled with ordinary sounds, there was a girl. Her name was Usagi Tsukino. Usagi was not famous. She was not powerful. She was not the kind of person you would look at and think, this one will change the universe. She was clumsy, a little lazy, always late. She cried easily. She worried about small things. She loved snacks. She loved games. She wanted simple happiness. She wanted comfort. She wanted to be liked. And in her heart, she carried a softness that the world often tries to harden. Usagi didn't know it yet, but she was exactly the kind of person destiny chooses. Not because she was perfect, but because she was human. The cat with the moon. One day, a day that looked like any other, Usagi saw a cat, a black cat with a crescent moon on her forehead. The cat was injured, and Usagi, without thinking, stopped to help. That was the first sign. Not the magic, not the destiny, the compassion. Because in every life, Usagi's soul had been the same, a heart that reaches out before the mind can calculate risk. She bent down. She removed the bandage from the cat's forehead, and the cat looked up at her with eyes too intelligent to belong to an ordinary animal. The cat's name was Luna, and Luna had been waiting for a very long time. The first awakening. That night, Usagi went home. She ate, she complained, she laughed. She fell asleep thinking only of ordinary things, but destiny doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly, in the middle of a dream. Luna appeared, not as a dream cat, but as a messenger, a guardian of memory. She spoke to Usagi as if they had known each other forever, because they had. Luna told her the truth in the gentlest way possible, that Usagi was not just a girl, that she carried something ancient inside her, that she was a warrior, a sailor guardian, a protector. Usagi, of course, panicked. She cried. She begged to be left out of it. She insisted she was not brave enough, not strong enough, not serious enough. But Luna did not argue. Luna simply gave her the tool that would awaken what was already there. A brooch, a symbol, a key. And with a flash of light, soft, shimmering, Luna, Usagi transformed, not into someone else, but into the truest form of herself. She became Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's first fear. At first, Sailor Moon did not feel heroic. She did not feel powerful. She felt terrified. Her heart raced. Her thoughts scattered. Her legs wanted to run. But when danger appeared, she did not abandon the innocent. Even while crying, she stood between darkness and the people it wanted to harm. That was her first victory. Not the fight, the choice. Because courage isn't calm. Courage is shaking hands that still reach forward. The Dark Kingdom stirs. While Sailor Moon awakened, a new darkness was already moving through the world. The Dark Kingdom. A shadowed force rising from beneath reality. They were not merely criminals, not merely monsters. They were servants of a hunger for energy, a hunger for life. They sought the silver crystal. Even if they did not fully understand it, they felt its call. The Dark Kingdom was led by Queen Beryl, a woman whose ambition had been shaped into obsession. Behind her influence was something older, a lingering echo of Queen Metalia. The same chaos, the same corruption, the same ancient bitterness that had once destroyed the Moon Kingdom. It had returned, and it was searching. A mask in the night. As Sailor Moon fought her first battles, another figure appeared. A man in a mask, a cape moving like shadow, a rose thrown with perfect timing. He was mysterious, elegant, distant. He did not stay long. He appeared only when the moment was critical. He helped, and then vanished. He was known as Tuxedo Mask. Usagi did not know who he was, but her heart reacted to him as if it recognized something, as if it remembered a love it had once lost, and somewhere deep inside, her soul stirred. Princess Serenity, asleep within her, shifted like someone turning over in bed, not awake yet, but moving closer to waking. The first Guardian returns, Mercury. Soon, another Sailor Guardian appeared, a quiet girl, smart, reserved. Her name was Ami Mizuno. Ami did not seek friendship. She did not seek attention. She sought peace in study. She sought comfort in knowledge. But Luna saw her, and Luna knew the truth. Ami was not only a student, she was a guardian reborn. When Ami awakened, she became Sailor Mercury, the guardian of water, the guardian of wisdom. And when she stood beside Sailor Moon, something ancient clicked into place, like a puzzle piece returning to where it had always belonged. Sailor Moon felt it, that feeling of being less alone, that feeling of being protected even when she was the one meant to protect others. Mars, the flame of intuition. Then came Reihino, a girl of fire, a girl of spiritual strength. Rei lived near sacred places. She felt energy before it arrived. She sensed danger before it appeared. When Rei awakened, she became Sailor Mars, the guardian of flame, the guardian of intuition. Mars was not gentle the way Usagi was gentle. Mars was sharp, focused, unyielding. But even her harshness came from care, because some people protect you by being soft, and some people protect you by refusing to let you fall apart. Mars didn't always understand Usagi, but she stood beside her anyway, because loyalty is not always affection. Sometimes it is simply stay in. Jupiter, strength that feels like home. After Mars came Makoto Kino, tall, strong, with hands that could fight and a heart that could nurture. Makoto carried loneliness in her eyes, not because she was weak, but because she had been forced to be strong too early. When she awakened, she became Sailor Jupiter, the guardian of thunder, the guardian of protection. Jupiter felt like warmth, like home, like someone who would cook you a meal and then punch the darkness in the face for daring to touch you. She joined the team naturally, as if she had been waiting for the chance to belong again. Venus, the leader of love. And then, the last of the inner guardians returned. Minako Aino, bright, confident, with the energy of sunlight. Minako had already fought alone for a time. She had already carried the weight of being a Sailor Guardian. When she joined the others, she became Sailor Venus, the guardian of love, the guardian of leadership. Venus was not simply cheerful. She was brave in a way that refused to become bitter. She had faced darkness and still chose to smile, and when she stood with the others, the circle was complete. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Sailor Moon at the centre. 5 souls reborn, 5 hearts reunited. The pattern of the battles. The battles continued. Dark Kingdom servants appeared. They fed on human energy. They turned ordinary people into drained, empty shells. They created monsters from despair. And each time, the Sailor Guardians arrived. Not always in perfect coordination, nor always confident. Sometimes they argued. Sometimes they made mistakes. Sometimes they were afraid. But they always returned. Because the mission was not simply to fight enemies. It was to protect the world from becoming hopeless. It was to protect people from the darkness inside them that could be exploited. And Sailor Moon, more than any of them, understood something important. Most villains were not born evil. They were twisted by pain, by emptiness, by hunger. And sometimes, the greatest victory was not defeating them. It was freeing them. The silver crystal calls again. As the Guardians grew stronger, the silver crystal's presence began to surface, not as a physical object yet, but as a pull, a pressure in the air, a feeling that something sacred was hidden nearby. The Dark Kingdom felt it too. Queen Beryl grew impatient. She demanded results. She demanded the crystal. Because she believed the silver crystal would make her unstoppable. She believed it would fill the emptiness inside her. But emptiness does not fill easily. It expands. It consumes. And those who chase power are often chasing it because they are trying to outrun their own despair. Usagi's hidden memory. Usagi began to have dreams. Not normal dreams, not dreams of school or friends or ordinary life. Dreams of moonlight, of long halls, of silver gardens, of a kingdom that felt like peace. She saw a girl with long hair, a girl dressed in white, a girl looking down at earth with longing. Sometimes she saw a man, a prince, his eyes kind, his presence familiar. And when she woke, she felt a sadness she could not explain. As if she'd lost something before she even knew she had it. Tuxedo Mask's secret. Tuxedo Mask appeared again and again, and each time Usagi felt pulled toward him, not because he was mysterious, but because he felt like a memory her heart refused to let go of. Eventually, the truth began to surface. Tuxedo Mask was not a stranger. He was Mamoru Chiba, a young man with his own pain, his own loneliness, his own search for meaning. Mamoru did not know why he was drawn to the battle. He did not know why his body moved before his mind could decide, but he felt it, that he was meant to protect her, that he had always been meant to protect her, because Mamoru carried a soul too, a soul that had once been Endymion. The Moon Princess awakens. As danger grew, Usagi's memories began to return, not all at once, not like a sudden flash, more like a slow sunrise. She learned the truth, that she was the reincarnation of Princess Serenity, that the Moon Kingdom had existed, that it had fallen, that her love had died, that she had died too, and that Queen Serenity had sent them all forward in time to try again. Usagi felt overwhelmed. She did not want to be a princess. She did not want to carry history. She did not want destiny. She wanted to be a girl. But destiny did not ask permission. It simply arrived. And the cruel part of remembering is this. When you remember love, you also remember loss. Usagi cried. Of course she cried. She cried for Endymion. She cried for the Moon Kingdom. She cried for the life she never got to live. And then she stood up again, because that is what Sailor Moon does. She breaks, And then she continues. The Guardians were together now, their memories returning, their strength growing, the Dark Kingdom closing in, the Silver Crystal calling, and the universe quietly preparing for the next turning of the story. Because the true battle was still ahead. Not just a battle of fists, but a battle of hearts. A battle of whether love could survive the weight of fate. And soon, the final pieces would move into place. Queen Beryl would strike deeper. The Silver Crystal would awaken fully. And Sailor Moon would be tested in the only way she truly can be tested. Not with pain, but with sacrifice. But that comes next. For now, you can breathe, you can soften, you can let your mind drift like moonlight on water, because the Guardians are awake, and they are watching over the world, and you can rest. Part 4, The Dark Kingdom's End and the Doorway to the Future. The nights continued. Not every night was filled with danger, but the danger was always there, like distant thunder that never fully leaves the horizon. Usagi went to school. She laughed with her friends. She worried about tests, about being late, about small embarrassments. And yet, in the background of her ordinary life, a far older life was returning. Piece by piece, memory by memory. The Moon Kingdom was no longer a dream. It was becoming real again, and the Dark Kingdom could feel it. Queen Beryl's growing hunger. Deep within the shadows, Queen Beryl watched the Sailor Guardians. She watched their victories. She watched their unity. And she felt something tightening inside her. Not fear, not exactly. More like anger at the idea that hope could exist at all. Because hope, to someone who has surrendered, feels like an insult. Queen Beryl demanded more power. She demanded faster results. She demanded the Silver Crystal. And the darkness behind her, the echo of Metalia, whispered like poison. Take it, claim it, break them. The Dark Kingdom moved with greater force. The attacks became harsher. The traps became smarter. The battles became less like accidents and more like a net slowly tightening. The trap of separation. It is easier to defeat a team when they are alone, so the darkness tried to separate them. It created confusion. It created distractions. It targeted the places where people are weakest, not in their strength, but in their hearts. One guardian doubted herself. Another felt anger. Another felt fear. Small cracks. Not because they weren't brave, but because they were human. Even heroes can be tired. Even guardians can feel overwhelmed. And the Dark Kingdom used this truth like a blade. Usagi felt it more than anyone, because Sailor Moon was the center. And when the center shakes, everything trembles. Mamoru taken. Then, one night, the darkness struck in a way that felt personal. Mamoru, Tuxedo Mask, was taken, captured, pulled into the shadowed realm where Queen Beryl waited. Usagi felt the loss instantly, not only because she loved him, but because her soul remembered what it meant to lose Endymion. The same pain, the same cold shock, the same helplessness. It was as if the universe was repeating itself, as if fate was saying, "Here, again. Can you survive this again?" Usagi's heart panicked, but her spirit, her ancient spirit, stood up inside her, and it refused to let history repeat. The Guardians' resolve. Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus stood beside Usagi. They did not hesitate. They did not argue. They did not tell her to be careful. They simply looked at her with the quiet understanding of warriors who have already died once, and are no longer afraid of dying again. They would go into the darkness. They would bring him back. They would end the Dark Kingdom's threat. Not because they wanted glory, but because this is what loyalty looks like when it becomes destiny. Entering the Dark Kingdom. The path into the Dark Kingdom did not feel like walking into a place. It felt like stepping into a mood, a heavy atmosphere, a cold pressure, a world where hope seemed muted, as if even light had trouble existing. The air was thick, the silence was unnatural, and the further they went, the more it felt like the universe itself was holding its breath. Usagi moved forward anyway. Her heart was pounding, her hands were trembling, but she moved, because courage is not a feeling, courage is movement in spite of feeling. The Guardians fall, one by one. The battles inside the Dark Kingdom were brutal, not flashy, not heroic in the way stories often pretend. They were desperate, they were costly. The Guardians fought with everything they had. Mercury used her mind like a shield. Mars used her fire like prayer. Jupiter struck like thunder. Venus shone like a guiding star, a quiet return to life. The Sailor Guardians returned too, not through logic, not through explanation, but through the gentle mercy of the silver crystal. Because the crystal was not only power, it was restoration. It was the universe saying, "You have suffered enough. You may live again." Usagi stood with her friends, Mamoru beside her. The air felt lighter, the sky above looked normal again, and yet nothing was normal, because the world had almost ended, and it had been saved by a girl whose greatest strength was not aggression, but love. The calm after the storm. For a while there was peace, not permanent peace, but a quiet stretch of days where the sun rose normally, where laughter returned, where life continued. Usagi went back to being Usagi. She ate snacks, she joked, she cried over silly things. She held Mamoru's hand, she leaned on her friends, and somewhere deep inside her, Princess Serenity rested again, not gone, just quiet, because the universe was not finished. Destiny rarely ends after one victory, it simply turns the page. The doorway to the future. In the soft space between battles, something else began to stir. Not darkness, something stranger. A ripple in time. A quiet distortion like a reflection in water when something moves beneath the surface. And then a child appeared. A small girl. Pink hair, wide eyes. A strange mixture of innocence and ancient sadness. Her name was Chibiusa, and she carried a secret from the future. A future where Usagi was not only Sailor Moon, but a queen. A future where the Moon Kingdom would rise again, not as the Silver Millennium, but as something new, Crystal Tokyo. A world of peace, a world that still had shadows, a world that still needed protecting. Chibiusa looked at Usagi with fear, with longing, with hope, and Usagi, still just a girl in her heart, felt something soften inside her, because the future was not a distant idea anymore. It had arrived in the shape of a child's trembling hands, and the story, quietly, continued. For now, you can rest here. The Dark Kingdom has fallen, the Silver Crystal has awakened, love has survived, and the future has opened its door just a little, letting moonlight spill through. Breathe in slowly, breathe out softly. Nothing is urgent, nothing is chasing you. The moon is still in the sky, and the story is still unfolding, gently, like a dream that knows you're getting sleepy.